Page 380, When Johnny Comes Marching Home. Very well-known tune here in the United States. This is a solo for French horn. So the French horn is going to play the top line and you play the piano part. French horn is an F instrument, remember, so if you're going to play the French horn part, and you should, you need to transpose it. Remember that when a French horn sees a C in the music, it comes out a perfect fifth under. It comes out as an F. That's why it's called a French horn, an F horn. So all the notes in the music need to be taken down a perfect fifth. So that D, French horn part here, go down a fifth. It's a G. Now once I have the starting note, I can usually just follow the intervals in the music. So it's like a G is my starting point, and then I go down, what, a fourth, up a second, down a third, down a second, you just follow the intervals in the music. And from here to the next one is a here. Just remember that A in the French horn part is a D. It's a perfect fifth below it. Let's go over to measure 25. Here we have just broken chords, and remember you start with a C, so you can start with an F. It's a broken chord. But against a broken chord, that's all it is. And then going on to the next one, it's here. So then here, see that C sharp in the music is an F sharp on the piano. Here. So again, measure 30 was here, here, and then a B flat. So you're ready for 31. It's easier to read the music when it only goes up or down a second or a third or so. Then you can see the interval, and you're just doing the interval on the keyboard. But you got to play in the key of a B flat major. Now at the end, measure 37, they're going to be here, but then it goes up. So instead of this D, you got to come up to this D. You're ending on that G up here because the notes went up. Because I want to go down, but they go up at the end. That's for the French horn part. But you need to understand what the French horn is doing and know what it sounds like. And then you got to stay in the background. You support them. Of course, the introduction, you don't. You do that. You're setting the mood and the tempo and the harmony and all that. And everybody's here getting ready for the soloist. So that introduction is extremely important, that you get that in the right style and speed and so forth that the French horn player wants. I used to always have my soloists to play a little bit for me at the beginning so I can hear what you're doing. So I could hear what speed and how they're playing it and interpretation-wise, because that's what I want to do in the beginning. So here it's... to come in at the same speed and so forth that I just set. Hopefully they don't have to, they can do what they want. But if I do my part correctly, they will come in at the same style and so forth. When the soloist comes in, you gotta stay in the background. So follow the soloist. If they get softer, you get softer. They get louder, you get louder, so forth. Because in measure 12, they're gonna get louder. If there's a crescendo, then they go up. So you can do these. These are louder here. They're not loud. The soloist is loud. You're just sort of mezzo piano to mezzo fortes. Here, and then these stay under the soloist. Let them have that. And make sure that, like in measure 4 and measure 19 and so forth, that note is just an eighth note. Just get off. Just get off of it. Now in measure 20, here it's a bit of an interlude, but the piano takes the solo. This is what I like about sonatas. If you do a violin sonata, you're playing the piano part and the violin's doing it, or any kind of a sonata with an instrument. The two parts, the piano part and the instrument, are more like a duet. They each get the melody sometimes. They're each accompanying sometimes. Those are what I really like to enjoy. Those are the ones I really enjoy doing. A lot of the soloists, they insist on doing concertos. Oh, God, do a concerto. And so you're doing the piano part to a concerto. Well, the piano part is crappy because it's just an orchestral reduction. It's not piano music. And it's basically an accompaniment. A lot of it is. Sometimes the orchestra gets the melody, but a lot of it is just accompaniment. I prefer to do sonatas because it's more like a duet. And here, sure enough, the piano gets to shine here. So over here on measure 23. And this other little bit that the French horn is doing on measure 25 and 26, that's just a flourish. It's like a descant up above. It's the piano part that gets the melody. It's the piano part that's got to be heard here. And that's what, you don't have to play loud. You just, and then at 31, the French horn takes over again. You got to get in background again. And in measure 35, they come in a accent boom, and you reply. Boom, boom, boom. And don't make these short. Keep all these dotted half or dotted quarter notes down 3 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And at the end, you can bring that out. Don't drown out the French horn, but you can bring it out. And the end is just you. Yeah, so you can accent that last note, okay. So you're adjusting your part to what the French horn is doing, but in some of this, measures 23 and 24 and all those, you get the melody, you get to shine, and the French horn is playing whatever. And again, they don't give any pedaling. So what are you going to pedal and when and why and all that junk? Well, for the most part, you're not going to pedal too much because this needs to bounce along. Bum, 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 bum. So if I just pedal it, just blindly pedal everything, it comes out like this. You know, it's terrible. Please don't do that. Ew. It's not the style of the piece at all. And we don't want to all that junk. Yuck. So we have to clean up and be very careful about this pedal. I don't want to pedal the introduction at all. The problem is I can't connect the left hand. I want to connect the left hand, but I don't want to smear up the melody. Well, isn't that fun? So what do? I pedal just long enough to connect the left hand, and that's it. So it's slow it down. So, right there. I just pedal long enough to connect the left hand, and that's it. And then this part, I want that to bounce along. Boom, 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 boom. So I don't pedal it at all because I can connect the left hand. Now measure 13 on these. If you would like, because it's louder, you can pedal with a note. The pedal goes down with the note and up with the note. It just gives it overtones, just a little color. These two, pedal each one. They're overtones and you're connecting them. And then I'll measure 20. Now, here we're not connecting the left hand. We don't need to pedal this at all. Measure 31, I can pedal with the beat again, just to give it overtones. And going on, I'm still going to pedal these notes. I want overtones here. We're loud, very loud actually. Just here. Pedal goes down with the note and up with the note. And then at the end, don't pedal that. But you can pedal the last chord, pedal it. Boom, boom. Gives it overtones, a little more flavor, as I call it. And that's what I would suggest. You pedal as little as possible, but pedal when you need to help connect the left hand or to give the louder notes overtones and support, so forth. That's what I would recommend. It's part of interpreting the music. Maybe the soloist will come back and I don't like the way you're interpreting that. And then you say, well, how do you want me to do it? And then they get into that discussion. Been there, done that. But the soloist supposedly is in charge. And between the two of you, you can come up with an agreement on how it's going to sound. If you can't, you're not the right accompanist for them, or they're not the right soloist for you. I mean, everybody doesn't match up very well, so, right, all the time. So it may not work out. However, that's rare, actually. It's in most cases you can figure it out between the two of you, what's the best sound you can get.